Thank you all for being here. We'd like to welcome you here this afternoon to Pennington Court, Center of Hope. We're excited to have the parents here, our guests, our visitors, and most importantly, our students. Give our students a round of applause.
I want to thank everybody for coming, not only for, for the center, for our kids that's here, that's in the program. They work very hard to perform, to do this for y'all. And I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it is such a pleasure to be here. It's so exciting to be at the source of where all this began. Let me tell you a little bit about the Baroque Orchestra of New Jersey. We were founded in 1996 by our Maestro, Dr. Butts. And we started out sort of like keys to success, very small. We were dedicated to performing Baroque music with a very small orchestra. We started out as the Baroque Orchestra of Boonton. How many people have heard of Boonton? Exactly. We then changed our name to the Baroque Orchestra of North Jersey and expanded our repertoire and expanded the number of people in our orchestra. We then made another change, and so now we are the Baroque Orchestra of New Jersey, and we perform in Madison. So we've been all over the place and grown, and now we play music through the 21st century, including world premieres. And one of our world premieres was with you. But one of the things that really hasn't changed about our orchestra is our dedication to our mission. And part of that mission is to provide opportunities for young musicians to listen to music, to perform music, and to work with professional musicians to expand their education. And hopefully then give back to the community by performing in senior centers, retirement villages, different venues. But that's all part of the mission. So how did we accomplish some of these interactions with young musicians? Well, first of all, we used to get a grant. Unfortunately, our grantor changed directions, but we used to get a grant to do free family concerts. And they were very well attended. Families would come and we do, the favorites like Peter and the Wolf, Carnival of the Animals. And then we're also known as an orchestra who does a lot of kind of crazy things. We're not afraid to be out there. How many of you have ever seen the Ricola commercial with the Alphorn? Well, in one of our family concerts, we had the guy who plays the Alphorn in the commercial come to Grace Church and perform a concerto on Alphorn. Another thing we did for the family concert, which really got everybody excited, was we had our French horn player play a garden hose with a funnel on the end and a mouthpiece on the other end. I tell you, we do strange things. After that, one of our board members and her family began the Pearl and Julius Young musical competition in which young musicians, instrumentalists between the ages of 16 and 22 could compete, and they got cash prizes and the opportunity to perform a concerto or a piece of a concert with us as soloists, and some of them ended up joining the orchestra. So now we are awarding the Cynthia Platt Scholarship, which was a bequest from a musician who was absolutely thrilled and dedicated to education, musical education for young people. So we got a bequest from her, which was dedicated to the Platt Scholarship, and that is to further music education for our young musicians. With the scholarship, we've been awarding it since 2012. And we've had single artists, some of whom have gone on to study music and become professionals. Some are now graduated and coming back into the community and performing at different places, but they are giving back. So this is very exciting for us. This year, after working with Keys to Success and seeing how our missions really aligned with one another, we're kind of a continuity of what you're doing, and it's a perfect fit. So we decided that for the first time ever, we were awarding the scholarship to an ensemble. So this is super exciting for us. They've already stepped ahead of the scholarship by performing with us several times. But you want to hear how we got together. So I'm going to pass the mic over to none other than our wonderful Maestro, Barboza.
Thank you, Joanne. A big thank you to Jee-Hoon, Krska, and Keys to Success for arranging this wonderful event. Before I say a little bit more, I would like to introduce other members of our board of directors who have joined us today. So would you please welcome Evan Ardell, and Douglas Anderson. As Joanne mentioned, I founded the orchestra in 1996, which seems like a century ago, doesn't it? And as we've grown and become part of the community, and as Joanne mentioned, from the beginning, we were always devoted. We wanted to be part of the community. We didn't want to be one of those orchestras that says, we do a concert, come and see us 4 times a year, and that's it. We wanted to do that, but we also wanted to be active. Be in the community. We play at retirement communities, retirement homes. We've played at hospitals. We've played wherever. In fact, maybe we could even come and do a concert in Newark at some point. We would love to do that with Keys to Success. It's all about sharing and being part of the community and doing all of this, doing it together. I also want to acknowledge a big thanks to Elijah Souls, who is my colleague. First joint thing we did together was a piece called Simple Gifts, in which he and I co-composed. Oh, wow. So it's a really honor to have him with us again here today, and I hope we can co-compose something else in the future. We came together about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. Another member of our board of directors who couldn't make it today, Molly Ball, was on the board, and she has a friend, Leslie Carson, who happened to have a friend who took her to hear Keys to Success. So it's all about building the network. And from that event, Leslie contacted Molly, Molly contacted me. We met and just talked. No idea as to what could be possible and what we could do. But I think we both knew right away that we could do something together, because it's reaching out to young people, sharing communities, sharing the music, sharing what we like, and just doing everything together. Well, the first thing we did, and if you watched some of the videos, was that we said, well, let's invite the Keys to Success students to come to a concert, but not just sit in the audience. I mean, that would be exciting enough, I think, for everybody. But Jee-Hoon and I don't remember exactly how it came about, but we decided, let's give these youngsters a chance to actually be on stage, to perform. And so we did a concert in June of 2019, and before the second half of the concert, in which we featured one of the great pianists, Paul Ziegler, performing one of the most exciting piano concertos, the George Gershwin Piano Concerto, and before he played, we set up all these keyboards, and how many did you have? About 14? Yeah, about 14. About 14 students performed a couple of pieces in a beautiful theater in a real concert, and we're not just our guests, but we're our colleagues, and we're our co-performers in this concert. Well, immediately we thought we could do even better. We could perform together, and that's something that as far as we know has never been done. Youngsters of this age actually performing with a professional orchestra, not just before it, not just sitting in the audience, but being there and being part of it. And that's when we got the idea that we were going to do it in April of 2019, and we were going to premiere it, and Elijah and I composed this music for them to play, so that it was music playable by them at their level on the piano, and still challenging and enjoyable for the professional musicians in the orchestra. Well, I think you all remember what happened by April of 2019. Or 2020, I'm sorry, you're right. My mistake. We were going to do this together in April 2020, but COVID got in the way. But we weren't daunted. Again, we came up with another idea. Why not have all of these young artists record their piano parts at home? And all the professional musicians record their parts at home. And then Jee-Hoon and her staff took all of these videos and put them together into this remarkable video in which they didn't ever actually sit together and play. They played on their own, and Evan Ardell was part of it, and I know some of the young pianists were part of it, and we created a virtual performance together. Well, that was exciting, and that was wonderful. But then last summer, as we loosened up from COVID and were able to perform live again, we said, why don't we do that performance together? So last July, it was July, right? Yes, last July, in the Madison Community Arts Center in Madison, New Jersey, we played that arrangement of Simple Gifts, and we performed it with, I guess about 11, was it about 10 or 11? Yeah. Young students, Elijah helping out, and we performed that with the orchestra and with these youngsters. And then Elijah led another performance of this incredible song called Lift Every Voice. And we did that together. So not only did we historically do one thing for the first time together, we did two. And we're hoping that working together, it's not like we said we did this historic landmark concert in July of 2021. It was the first of many of these types of concerts that we hope to do moving forward. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you to Jee-Hoon. Thank you to everybody. We look forward to, well, I look forward to having some refreshments with you all later. And we look forward to sharing our music with you, hopefully here in Newark at some point, and again in Madison. And now I'll turn you over to Jee-Hoon.
All right, so I think you all know, we don't succeed by ourselves. We succeed because we have people who help us. Baroque Orchestra has been a great help to us, but we couldn't do this without the staff of Pennington Court Center of Hope supporting us, making sure that you parents, you're always getting phone calls from the staff here about getting your kids down here for piano lesson, and we are thankful. We're thankful for the support, and we're thankful for the support of the parents. Right. We also have other partners around the city. There's a church near here called the Rock Church, where we actually come and pick up some of our kids from Pennington Court. We bring them to Rock Church so they can practice with kids from other parts of Newark. Right. And we of course have all of our volunteers, all of our staff. You just met Elijah. I do want to introduce you to Taylor, who's literally behind the scenes right now. Come on out. She is a wonderful singer. You will hear her later. And a very patient piano teacher as well. And We also have partners on the west side, Alka Creates, and in the central ward, our partner is Ms. Barbara Weiland, who is here in the back. And she actually has a garden, and a few of our kids have gone out there to perform already. So we're going to be doing it again later this summer. So in addition to all of our partners, of course, none of this could happen without funding. So, funding is not easy to come by. In fact, for the first 2 years, all of us were unpaid. All of us volunteered our time. Until we got a grant from Newark Arts. Newark Arts gave us the first grant to start our summer camp, which is a STEAM camp. They gave us the first grant to perform with the Baroque Orchestra, and last year they gave us a grant to commission additional pieces by Black composers, and our composer in residence is Elijah Souls. I would like to invite Regina Barboza from Newark Arts to say a few remarks.
I'll try to be brief because I think we all want to hear the students perform. Yeah, as Jee-Hoon mentioned, Newark Arts is an arts advocacy group in the city of Newark that supports visual arts, music, theater, dance, etc. We put on an annual arts festival, and we've been around it's a 40-year-old startup. And for 20 years plus, we have given out many grants, MINI, small grants, to community organizations that are bringing arts access actually to all of the 5 wards, because that's crucially important. People are not always coming downtown to take advantage of arts programming or arts learning, and it's crucially important for young people's self-development, sense of voice, sense of purpose, self-determination, all of that. And so we've been thrilled to give several Art Start grants to Keys to Success. We marvel at the programming that they do. The video that was done during COVID and the connection to the Baroque Orchestra was just stellar. It was shown, I think, throughout the state. The State Council of the Arts showed it. Arts at Newark, who's our office partner, showed it during some of their convenings. And we support this work because we know how valuable it is to children's lives. So thank you very much. Congratulations on to the whole Keys to Success team on the Cynthia Platt Award.
Cynthia Platt Scholarship 2022, which is created to support and involve young people in the joy and pleasure of bringing music to life. This is awarded to Keys to Success for the continuation of the music studies of the students in the Keys to Success program. Along with the certificate, we are very proud to offer you the $2,000